So I have Vivika with me. Vivika has scored 7.5 bands in her IELTS test. Today she got her result and she's planning to do her post graduation from Australia. Uh, Vivika prepared for 12 days
Yes.
and she got 7.5. 7.5, 7.5, like this in four sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, respectively. So, Vivika, how did you prepare and how did you start your preparation? How many tests you give? How much time did you give on a daily basis? These are some questions I'm going to ask you. So, let me start with the first part. Like, how did you do diagnostic? How much you scored there? You remember?
Uh, so test wise,
Yeah, yeah. In the first test, I gave you a diagnostic at the beginning, right?
yes, sir. So if I talk about, I did not do the full test at first.
Mm-hmm.
So I did two sections, listening and reading.
Yeah.
So in listening, I was scoring. The scores in listening were constant since the beginning. So they were
Mm-hmm.
ranging between 36 to 39.
Okay. Okay.
And whereas if I talk about reading I was scoring 27. Then next I was scoring 31. Next I was scoring 33. So there was a gradual increase. Then I was scoring 35. And the last test that I gave, I was scoring 36 in reading.
Okay. Okay. So 36 on 40, 40 is a good score. So
Yes.
gradually you move from 27 to 36 in 12 days, and that's a fantastic progress. And so, how did you do it? I remember I asked you to do the same test twice or thrice.
Yes, sir. So this was the thing. I did the same comprehension, the same test
Mm-hmm.
again and again. So if I talk about the book 8, I had done each test thrice, minimum
Mm-hmm.
thrice.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
doing the same test three times gave you an idea of how the questions are structured and how you can approach them,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So overall, how many tests you would have done during these 12 days?
Sir, six full tests I had done in 12
Okay.
days.
And those tests were done multiple times, and that gave you an idea of how to speed up, how to
Yes, sir.
kind of approach it in a different way. So that's about reading. Okay. Now, when we talk about writing, how was that and how did you improve on writing? What was something which helped you the most?
So the first thing was your tutorials really helped me. So, how to start a paragraph, what important information has to be there in a particular paragraph, and most importantly, how an essay or how an analysis has to be framed, the
Mm-hmm.
framework. Like if I talk about the section 1, so it has to start with the introduction, and that introduction shouldn't be more than 25 words. Then you come to the overall picture. That overall picture needs to be just a line defining what are you writing ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the trends, comparisons, and highlights.
Yeah.
And at last, the conclusion, which is again has to be only 25 words. So just remembering these points helped me frame up a good answer.
Okay. Okay.
And
Great.
if I talk about the essay, the second part, the most important thing that I learned from you was to plan how to write an essay. Like if
Right.
first paragraph you write the what is the situation, the second paragraph you write the causes and the effect, and the third paragraph you write the measures or the solutions to those problems.
Yes. And I think the most important thing is to separate planning from execution.
Yes, sir.
So initially itself, if you make a draft and if you are very clear of the topics that you want to entertain, it becomes very easy to write them at the later stage. So
Exactly.
I think,
Basically it's like you have to go very simple with your thoughts and
mm,
creative with your writing. So this
right,
is what
right, right.
I learned while writing essays. And
Did you practice with the clock on to see in how much time were you able to finish them?
yes, sir. So I not in the first or second tests, but later on I was always writing with the clock on, and in my case I was able to finish the writing part in 45 minutes, which was same in my final test that I gave at the center.
Okay. Okay. So 45 minutes you finished the whole test, and then you had good 15 minutes to check your answers and correct the mistakes. Good, 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 good. And you scored 7 in writing in your first attempt there.
Yes, sir.
Great. Now comes the speaking part, the last section. And I remember we did preparation for maybe 2 days for speaking, the
Yeah,
last 2 days.
not even 2 days. We didn't have that time to uh, prepare for speaking that much. So it
Yeah,
was 1 or 2 rounds that we did, that too on
yeah,
a phone call, so that
yeah,
we're well versed with the concept.
yeah. And I generally see that people who have good command over listening, reading, and writing, they do speaking very well because listening, reading, and writing helps you to get your thoughts organized a great deal. And in
Yes,
speaking, it is more important that you come across like a very organized person. So it's not about vocabulary, it's not about the quality of answers, but how organized you are in your thinking and how you present your thoughts. Great. I think one particular thing which people are afraid of in speaking is those cue cards. So
yes.
how did you manage the cue card? Did you practice a lot of them or how was it?
To be honest, I did not practice a lot of cue cards. I remember I practiced 5 cue cards in total, 5 or 6
Hmm.
cue cards in total, and learned that a sandwich structure is required while answering the cue cards. So first you go with an introduction, talk what all you know about that topic, and just go around your mind and just say what you know about that particular topic. Then
Hmm.
secondly, you answer those questions in the cue card. What is it, when is it, where was it, all of that stuff. And then you end it with the lesson that you learned. Basically, cue cards are like an incident you failed, or incident you were late, or something that it will always have some message, some conclusion that you have to tell in the last part of your cue card section.
Right, 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 right. So that is interesting. And I'm glad that you remember a lot of stuff. Sandwich structure, I think just we discussed for what, 5-10 minutes a day before
Yeah,
the
over a call. So that is what I'm saying. I I went through your essays and all of this. So I remember how to start an essay. So that first line, I used to memorize the first line. Okay, so if it's this kind of essay, I can write this line to begin with, around the globe, or
yeah,
in my opinion, for instance. All of
yeah,
these words. So vocabulary, it's not difficult. It's just that you need to memorize the vocabulary wherever it is required.
right, right,
Just
right.
choose the best one you like. So for
Correct.
conclusions, if like you can have to conclude, to sum up. So you just choose one and go on with it in every essay.
Right, 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 right. So repetition makes you perfect and you makes you remember stuff. Good, good, Viveka. So what are your plans now?
My plans is I'm hoping to go to Australia. Fingers
Okay.
crossed if everything is in place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is going to be an exciting journey for sure. And all the very best to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, and for your guidance.
You're most welcome. Bye.
Thank you, sir.